I am no longer at school I moved home for about 2 weeks, and I'm going to be headed back in about 2 weeks. So right now I don't have any fancy CDs from the radio station behind me. It's just going to be plain, basic, kind of crappy lighting. You know, I'm really sorry about that, but you know, it is what it is, and let's get to the review. Alright, so the album that we're going to be reviewing is The Suburbs by Arcade Fire. The Needle Drop already did a review, Track by Track already did a review, and I figured, you know, I might as well just do one before it's too late. I've been thinking about this album. I've been having a lot of trouble trying to sort of score it because I was not that impressed with it. I'm not going to say too much about the band themselves because I want to get into the album review. I'm just going to say that they're sort of an indie rock alternate Canadian band. They're very popular, so I'm sure you guys probably already know who they are anyway. Anywho, I was not too impressed with this album. I know it's reached top charts like left and right, but I was really not impressed. So I figured I'd take this review track by track, dissect the whole album, and give it to you straightforward as to why I am not a fan of this. So The Suburbs is Arcade Fire's newest concept album. They really go a little bit out of their way, and you can tell because they lose the big sound that you're used to in their previous albums, such as Funeral and Neon Bible. I mean, they still do hold true to this big sound a little bit, but it seems almost distant, or almost that it faded away. So let's not waste time and get into the track-by-track review. Arcade Fire wastes no time getting into the album. It just bursts out with this sort of like plinky saloon piano backed by rock drums. Really awesome. I really like this track. It's really driven by the piano. It's got a really nice chorus, really catchy, and they have some really sweet sounding violins in the background to sort of keep it a little easy going. First track, The Suburbs, I give a thumbs up. Second track, Ready to Start. This track really stuck with me because of the build-up. It's got strong vocals, you can hear them clearly, and it has this cool sort of whispery sort of synthesizer weird effect in the background, which really adds this nice touch to this track. Third track, Modern Man. When I listened to this, I didn't really get anything too big out of this. It was nothing special. It was sort of the same repetitive thudding bass and the same guitar chords over and over again. It seemed to be too simple almost. And I want to say that it was very poorly constructed. Alright, so track 4, Rococo. It's got a catchy chorus, but it just seems boring and repetitive after a while. Just Rococo, Rococo, Rococo. It just seems to just repeat itself over and over again in your head and makes you want to pull out your hair almost after a while. The song itself was just dull. The only pleasant part about this song, again, was the strings, and then there was this guitar part towards the end, which was just kind of unnecessary. It seemed a little bit too heavy. It just goes from dull and boring to this, like, weird guitar part. I don't know, I wasn't a fan of this song. Next song, Empty Room. Now this song hits you right away. I have to say that this song was actually one of the better songs on the album. It comes at you with this fast-paced string section. It's very catchy and wastes no time trying to attract your attention. City with No Children was also another good track on this album. I love the chorus. It was kind of depressing, but it was pretty upbeat. This sort of reminded me of Bruce Springsteen a bit, and had a very catchy guitar part in it also. Alright, Half Light. This was one of those slow songs on the album that I did not like. It just seemed to be too slow. It was too simple. It was just the same sort of repeating guitar chords over and over again with just one single drum beat. Again, the only nice part I heard in this song was the strings. Alright, on to Half Light 2. This one was a little better. I really liked the thudding bass in the background. It was a little more fast-paced. It had a nice beat to it. I sort of give it a meh. And it was a little more constructed, too. Alright, Suburban War. Really, really sad. It keeps you on your toes for this really nice build-up. I really don't think that it was well-balanced, and it was hard for me to hear the vocals. Alright, next song, Month of May. Very upbeat. Really liked the drums and bass in the background. It made me want to think of one of those old-school surf songs. Really liked this. Again, it was still also hard to hear the vocals on this. And it also seemed like this track just blew right by me without any specific parts. It seemed to be just one single part. I really couldn't sense any separation in the song. Onto the song Wasted Hours. I really liked the guitar part on this. It sort of reminded me of one of those old-fashioned Western songs with a little bit of the Arcade Fire's little indie element added into it. It's sort of a grooving song, really slow. The only gripe I have about this is it sort of just fades out unexpectedly. But I did really enjoy the guitar on this track. Deep Blue, I really didn't get much from this song. It sort of kept the same guitar part from the last track, and it really wasn't as good because it was hard for me to hear the vocals. But again, I really did enjoy the guitar on this track and the previous track. We Used to Wait. Now this song I think goes back to their older roots. Starts off with a tapping piano right in the beginning, gets you right into the song. It has a lot of elements to make it sound really big, and at the same time it's really, really nicely balanced. Also, I have to say that I like the nice unexpected build at the end of this song. It's really awesome. Sprawl 1. Now this song I didn't think was really that special. It had some really, really nice lyrics to it that really sort of captured you, took you into the suburbs sort of slum feel. Really slow, really sad, but it didn't really seem like there was any special element behind it. Alright, the song Sprawl 2. I heard from a lot of reviewers that this song sounded like Heart of Glass, and I have to agree with them wholeheartedly on this because this song really sounds almost, I want to say, exactly the same, but it has its different elements to it. It's very poppy, very upbeat, very 80s-esque. One gripe I had about this song was that it didn't seem to end. It went from okay to me kind of wanting to pull my hair out because I was just sort of waiting for the end of the song, and it was just repetitive over and over again, same beat, same rhythm, and I was done with it. Finally, the track Suburbs continued. There was nothing special about this track. It was sort of the closing of the album, the finale. Very slow, very sad, and it just sort of fades out into nothing. Alright, so Arcade Fire, The Suburbs. All in all, my concluding thoughts. It seemed like some of the tracks dragged on. I thought it was poorly produced because I had a real hard time hearing some of the vocals, which is probably why it seemed like some of the songs may have just been thrown in there as track fillers. But you know, there were a few good songs in there. There were a few good songs in there. By a few, I mean a few. All the other ones were either okay or really, really kind of... I just think that they should stick to their old stuff. Arcade Fire, The Suburbs, gonna have to give them a 6.5. I'm just giving my own opinion. If you have any other thoughts you want to share with me, feel free to leave a comment or a video response or whatever. I'm Devin Bender from Right On Track Tunes, and always remember, music is a gift.